The third annual Willow Oaks Hale America match for the benefit of homeless veterans was held on Monday, July 4th this year. And we can see the four contestants on the driving range getting ready for the match. Thouron on the left, Sean Patterson, Harrison Brink, and Steve Serrao. And we'll go over to the first tee and let Sean Minogue introduce the match.
How's this? Hey, there we go. All right, well, thank you again for being here. This is our third annual Hale America match. Just a little bit about the charity that we are benefiting today. It is called Liberation Veteran Services. And what they do is, their motto is that no two words that should ever be uttered is homeless and veteran. So they not only take in homeless veterans off the street, give them a roof over their head, housing, food. They get them into counseling. They get them hooked up with the VA, give them job skills, training, and do everything they can to get them back on their feet. It is a tremendous organization. Encourage everybody to look into it and just know that your dollars are going to an incredible cause. As a veteran, it is just tremendous to know the support that we have out here at Willow Oaks and how eager everyone has been to donate and support this cause. And we're looking forward to seeing a lot of birdies today. So without further ado, first off the tee is our director of golf from the Steel City, Pittsburgh, PA, Sean Patterson. Woo!
Sean got the match off to a good start with a good tee shot there, and he left himself a little gap wedge in, and he's put it to about 15 feet for the first birdie attempt of the day. But he leaves that one just a little bit short. But Steve Serrao kicks his ball out of the way and fixes a ball mark there that he had for his pitch here. He had a good pitch into the green here on number one. Stood over here about a 12-foot putt. And there's the first birdie of the day. That gets the ball rolling. That's worth $1,700 there. He gets a fist bump from Harrison. Harrison hit his pitch to about here, so he's got about a 2 to 3 foot putt left. I sure hope he can knock this one in for the second birdie of the day. Let's see. Of course, he picks that up out of the hole, and as he walks off, he taunts his opponents. Harrison and Steve are playing a side match against Gray and Sean. The route is on, says Harrison. And we didn't have too much action on holes 2 through 6, so we'll move along to number 7 here and watch Sean as he puts a really nice swing on the ball, and that's a great shot. And you can see by his reaction that he's probably been a little bit disappointed with his play so far. Gray also hit a nice tee shot here. He's a little bit off the green, but he's going to roll this one up and see if he can't make about a 20-foot birdie putt. And that just misses, as you can see on the right-hand side. It got Harrison about 2 inches off the ground with that Phil Mickelson leap. Sean left himself with this birdie putt with that good tee shot here on 7, and he knocks that one in for another $1,700. Moving along to number 8, Steve has hit a big drive down here on the left. He's just barely in the rough, but he's hitting a 6-iron into the green. Hit a great shot, and he left himself with a reasonable eagle opportunity. We'll see the results of that shot in just a second here.
Did it land right up top? Yeah, it should be in great shape.
Great swing, Steve.
Great strike. Thank you. That's pretty good, bro. I don't care about no stinking river grass.
And here's that eagle putt that Steve's left himself. He's got about 25 feet 9 inches based on our ShotLink data. Thanks to ShotLink for all our data today. And it's looking good, close, but just slides by on the left a little bit. And he'll tap that one in for birdie, of course. Backhanded. And we're up to $6,800 already. We're going to highlight Harrison's swing here on number 9. He hit a great drive, great second shot, and left himself with a very short birdie putt. Harrison really goes down into the ball as he's making contact. He knocked that drive out here, probably 285. And he's got a short wedge in on number 9 for his second shot. Again, he goes down at that ball and Makes good contact. Here's watching it very closely. And here's where he's found himself for that birdie putt. I'm betting he'll probably knock this one in. Sure, $8,500. On to number 10 here. Sean hit a 3-wood off the tee, and he's left it just short of that hump with the flagstick down there in the bowl. This is a really difficult shot. You've got to have really good touch to be able to navigate over that hump there and let it roll down. And he's done a pretty good job, but just picks up so much pace going down that hill.
Yes, sir.
Steve hit his drive to right over there and knocked it up to about a foot. Sean's got this birdie putt. A little bit downhill, breaks a little bit right. And no, it actually hit the left side of the hole and looked down the hole but didn't go in. Steve left himself this little short putt for birdie and another $1,700 for homeless veterans. And that gets us to $10,200.
Circle.
We're going to try something a little different here on number 12. We've got the guys side by side, and watch as they all start out their swings together, but Steve gets to the ball last. That's due to Steve's takeaway, which is a little slower than the other guys, and he's got a nice little pause at the top of the swing. And you'll see this in this side by side with Harrison as they're hitting their second shots into number 12. Steve starts his takeaway a little bit before Harrison, and he's got a slight pause at the top, which allows Harrison to catch up. And then on the downsweep, they both come down and make contact at about the same time. Harrison's approach shot left him with this short little pitch, and he's done a nice job with that, giving himself a nice opportunity for birdie here. Sean's also up here close after 2. And this is a really nice pitch that he put up there. Had a chance to go in, actually. And as Steve walks by, he looks over at Sean and says, "That's good." And Harrison's got this putt for his 4. Yes, thank you. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into swing analysis here now. We're going to watch Steve as he tees off on 13 in slow motion. And as you can see, he's got that nice pause in transition and hits it nicely down the fairway on 13. And then we'll see Harrison watch his little dip as he goes down into the ball. Gray's a little bit longer than the other two, so he's hitting an iron here. And he makes a pretty good pass through the ball, but he pushes it off just a tad to the right. Had a little open club face. Not too happy with that one. And here's Sean and his swing on 13. I'm going to let you watch that, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sean to analyze his own swing.
What I'm working on right now is I am working on trying to gain more hip rotation in my backswing to create space to get my arms back in front of me. Now what you're going to notice here is, besides how good my shoes look, is when I take the club back, my knee is going to stay basically flexed in this position, and I want this to become straighter. This will create more real estate and more space at impact for my arms to swing freely in front of me. And you'll see when I come down here that there won't be much space, and we call this position where the arm is basically on my side or behind it, is that would be stuck. So now I have to rotate my body all together all the way through to deliver the club on the ball. And you should be able to see a little bit of space right there, and you don't, because that hip races so fast through. So if I gain more hip rotation in my backswing, it will allow my arms to drop into that free space and then turn through it. There's really nothing wrong with the positioning of my hips. It's just they are going too soon. So if I make my hips move more in my backswing, then I will, like I said, create that space right there so my arms can swing free through the shot. This is something I've probably done forever. And it's probably a product. It's a pretty good slap shot for hockey, but not for golf swinging.
Well, slap shot or not, Sean's left himself with a nice birdie putt here on 13, and he rolls that in to get us up to $15,300 for the day. And Steve also with a nice approach shot, leaves him about a 10-footer that he rolls in to get us to $17,000. So they're starting to really pick up the pace on the birdies now. Here on 14, Harrison's left himself a 22-foot 9-inch putt, courtesy of ShotLink. Thank you, ShotLink, for that data. Harrison rolls it up there nicely and just goes off on the right side a little bit, but he's given Sean a path to the ball. Let's see if he can take advantage of that free education. And he's got it on the line, but he leaves it just short, and he is just despondent he didn't get that one to the hole. But Steve had an easy birdie here, but unfortunately our intrepid videographer missed that putt. But it counts nonetheless, and $1,700 more. No action on 15, so we'll move along here to number 16 and watch Sean put a really nice swing on this tee ball. And he's knocked that way down there just short of the stream on the right-hand side. And he'll definitely be thinking about going forward in 2 here on the par 5 16th. And his partner Gray will step up here with a 3-wood to try and avoid knocking it in to the stream, the penalty area. And he puts a good swing on that one, and he gets a good result. We'll see it in just a second. And there indeed he is, and he's decided to lay up here, giving Sean an opportunity to go for it in 2 without too much risk. Gray's put it out there in good position, and Sean takes a real nice pass through this 3-wood. He's got 2 penalty areas to cover here to reach the green or get up close to the green. And he's got that headed just left of the green side bunker. And here we'll see Gray's approach to the green from the fairway. And you can see here Sean's laid himself in perfect position for his 3rd shot to the green on 16. He's already had several really nice pitches on the day, and here's another one. He's put himself up here about a foot to 2 feet away, and that's conceded immediately to get the teams to $20,400. Gray has a makeable pitch here for birdie that just misses on the right-hand side, but he's got a tap-in par there. And we move along to 17, where we'll listen to Harrison as he tells us what's going on in his head as he prepares for this shot.
I've got 151. There's a little bit of a kicker on the left. Obviously, you don't want to miss right here. And I feel comfortable cutting the ball, so it's going to be split the kicker and the flag. Nice, smooth one. It's a good lie, so I don't have to go down and get it at all. And we make a full turn and hope for the best.
Well done, Harrison.
And if you aim a little left of the pin and push it slightly, you're fine.
And Harrison has left himself with about a 12 or 13 footer here. We didn't get the ShotLink data. They're having some production difficulties in the production truck, but hopefully we'll get that back online for you here quickly as Harrison steps up for his 3 on number 17. Harrison's been putting well all day, and I'm going to bet he makes this putt. Of course. And his partner Steve had a birdie on that hole as well. Our videographer was asleep and missed that. We'll be docking his pay for the weekend. And now, here on the 18th hole, the last hole of our match today, we're going to turn it over to Sean, our head pro, to analyze the swings of Harrison, Gray, and Steve. So take it away, Sean.
As Harrison takes it back, he's got a nice solid takeaway here. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to maintain the club face at the same angle as his back line. Now, in this position here, what you'll notice is here is the club face angle, and here is his back line. Okay? These are pretty parallel. So we get up to the top of the backswing, and I'm certainly jealous of this position right here. Right before he sets the golf club. Club face is dead square to his hands. And if I were to draw a line in his shirt seam, and if we were to actually take a view of the back line, you would see that that right arm is nice and in front of that shirt seam. Now, what happens here in the downswing is what I would really have Harrison focus on. Is what you're going to notice is when he gets into this position right about here, his logo or his grip, his left hand is pointed straight up. Now, this is what gets the club face out of position and what we would consider open. Now, reference the back line again, and what we're going to see is the club face in the next frame is now almost perpendicular to that back line. And that's because of that wrist position was a little cupped right before. So you can see here that he went from cupped to almost flat. And what he's doing is he's trying to work on getting that club face back to the golf ball and square. So now as he comes down to the golf ball, he's trying to get the club square. And by the way, this position here where this shaft is laying on that forearm is really good. So we just have to get that face square, and we'll do that through creating flexion in that glove hand, which means like get your knuckles down or really try to create some sort of, angle with the wrist to get that face nice and square. And what you'll notice here is he gets it square, but in his post-impact position, you will see that the club exits low and really left. And that's just a direct result of that cupped wrist in that downswing where the face was open. I think he has some distance to gain because we would like to see this club exit more up here, up his shoulder plane, which means that he would exit higher. So he's really gonna getting his upper body open to get that face square. Kind of dips a little bit through it at impact. And then finally gets up to his finish. Overall, really good stuff for Harrison. Like I said, we would try to get that lead wrist to just get out of that cup position and try to get it a little bit more flat in the downswing and leading into that delivery position before we get into impact.
And we'll take a look at Steve's swing here and let Sean tell us what he likes about this swing.
What you notice here about Steve is that he chokes up on the driver significantly, and it wasn't just for this shot. He does it as a practice and as a routine. Now, Steve's tendency is that he gets long in his backswing, and he lets his arms disconnect from his body. So what we do is we get him to shorten his backswing by turning, by rotation. And it gets his body more involved. So we have a phrase, we call it Calvin. And Calvin is Calvin Pete. And what Calvin Pete did really well was he started his golf swing with his left shoulder, and he was able to freeze that left shoulder kind of and allow it to work underneath his chin. And that started his golf swing sequence. So Steve, we're going to roll here. And Steve, you'll see, has a nice little shoulder turn here to start the backswing. He lets that left shoulder get underneath of his chin. Nice turn. and the club is moving with his body rotation. Okay, this is good. If you want to hit good straight shots right here, let the club head get outside your hands in this position, and it is parallel to his back line. When we get to the top of the backswing, you'll see that the club doesn't run on, and when his body stops rotating, that's when the backswing stops. In the downswing, what happens is kind of a residual effect. He stops rotating as well. Now, this is kind of part what we've been working on, is allowing him to really make sure that he is turning all the way through impact and he's rotating all the way through on the way down. And we call this the crunch. This is a good power move. He's using the ground as a power source. He's going down into the ground as he transitions, and now the club starts to come down, which allows him to stay in posture and rotate through the entire swing. Steve likes to hit a little cut, so good position here to hit that little cut. And you can see when he gets into impact, he is continuing to rotate his body. Beautiful impact position here, and you can see he's posted up on that left side, left heel's in the ground. He can now release the golf club basically as hard as he wants, and it's not going to go left. Nice full rotation here. Club head exits outside the hands, really good stuff. And then kind of up through that left shoulder to that good, beautiful, full extended, full release position here, all the way through impact here. Again, like I said, what we've been working on with Steve is freezing that left shoulder in that backswing, getting it in that Calvin position, and then really right here, when he's not playing well, right here, he has a tendency to lose this spine angle, and kind of it will start to go in this direction, and he'll start to extend up. But here you can see that he's able to maintain that spine angle right there as he turns through impact. Really good right there. Full release. Really good stuff by Steve. Really good.
And finally, here's Gray, an analysis by Sean.
All right, so here we got Gray, and well, no, Gray didn't really have his best stuff during the match, but that's all right. And I do think maybe one of the reasons that Gray had some of his timing off that day was because a little bit of weight shift issues. We'll start to roll here, and I love Gray's golf swing. He's got a wonderful little short backswing, very Tony Finau-esque, and he takes the golf club back. Arm structure, when he gets up to the top of his backswing, is as good as it gets here for a short move and a little backswing. And that right arm is just in perfect position here. He lets that club, what we call shallow, and what that is when that club gets up here, it starts to create an angle or lay down, kind of pitches kind of down this way. And you'll see when that happens, this is really good for hitting longer clubs, long irons, driver specifically. And he gets that club and it lays down. Arms are in front of him. Club face is starting to get pretty square. But here, what you'll notice is both of these heels here are off the ground. Now, you'll see in his finish, he gets well up on his toes and kind of lets his lower body slide out in front of him and spin out post impact here. And you'll see that left heel kind of spin all the way out. Now, how can we get this more in that left heel so he can post up all that speed and be more in control? So when he gets up to the top of the backswing here, you can see that his heel is on the ground. he's got to keep it there. So if I had gray on the lesson tee, what I would do is I would actually take like a towel, and I would ball it up and I would put it underneath of his left foot, kind of like on the ball of his foot or on his toes. And I would let him feel as he transitions down, kind of pressing his heel as the club kind of comes down. So like as he would like say kind of really bring this club down right here like this, back and forth, I would make sure that he feels the weight in his left foot and specifically in his left heel, so he has that stability to really stabilize all that speed. Now you can see when he comes down again, he kind of left heel gets off the ground, and here you can see it spins all the way kind of in. So what we would do is, again, we would get that towel under there, we'd have him focus on just kind of transferring that weight into that left heel, kind of posting up, and that would allow him to just be more fundamentally sound with his weight shift. The hips wouldn't get out in front, he wouldn't spin out of the shot, and he would really be able to rely on straighter shots throughout the swing.
So thanks to Sean for taking the time to provide that analysis of these guys. And we'll watch Harrison here. He had a beautiful drive. He's got about an 8-iron in, 160 yards to the hole, and he's hit it close. And Sean's also way down the fairway. He's probably got a pitching wedge in here. Puts his beautiful pass on the ball and sort of chops it off a little bit there. He took not even a full club, not even a full pitching wedge for his second shot. He's given himself a good birdie opportunity as well. We've got our ShotLink data problems cleared up, and so we know that Steve here's got a 25-foot, 9-inch putt, which he rolls in to take us to $25,500 for homeless veterans. They get a nice bump there between Harrison and Steve, his partner Steve. Harrison had 8 foot 9 inches there, and Sean's got a 6 foot 11-inch putt for birdie for the last opportunity of the day. And boom goes the dynamite, $28,900. So that's a great day for the players, and an even greater day for the homeless veterans who are the recipients of all of the kindness and generosity of the members here at Willow Oaks who have funded this wonderful event for the 3rd straight year.